Hey folks, welcome back to Eddy the Thinker. My name is Aditya, aka Eddy. Today we're gonna talk about phones. But first, growing up, I loved mobile phones. And growing up in Dubai, I had access to so many brands of mobile phones. But the two brands I followed religiously were Nokia and Sony Ericsson. I remember going to the mall and picking up pamphlets of various models there. At one point, I could tell you the model number, the features, and the price. And I'm not even exaggerating when I said that I could guess a person's qualities based on the phone they used. This is my first phone. It's the Sony Ericsson K750i and it still works. If only I could beat the high score of the game I used to play. In 2007, Steve Jobs introduced the world to the iPhone, a sleek device with a touchscreen.
And to unlock the phone, I just take my finger and slide it across. All right, you want to see that again?
I was quite frankly oblivious to it until I moved to Canada for higher studies. Full disclosure, I was in Canada as a student between 2009 and 2015. What I'm about to say is based on my experience only. Now, I'm sure things have changed since 2015. So if you're living in Canada, let me know what has changed and what hasn't in the comment section below. Compared to India and the UAE, I found Canada to be a little restricted. You see, in India and in the UAE, you can pick up any mobile phone from the store, put in a SIM card, and you're good to go. But in Canada, things were a little different. In order to get your mobile phone, you approach a carrier or your mobile network operator, you select a plan, you select a phone, and then you're locked down by a contract. I actually wanted a feature phone, preferably one from Nokia or Sony Ericsson. But to my surprise, they had phones from brands I was not familiar with, like Samsung, LG. By now, the transition had begun from feature phones to smartphones. So despite being someone who loved mobile phones, for the first time I felt lost, out of touch with the mobile phone world. Well, I did end up finding a Sony Ericsson phone. This is the W580i. Now, because of the contract, changing phones was not easy, unless I paid a fee to get out of the contract. And as a student, the fee was not cheap. Alternatively, I thought I could use the SIM card of my carrier and use the phone of another carrier. But the phones were locked to their respective carriers. Because of this, I slowly stopped taking an interest in phones. In 2010, I moved to a new city for university, and I was using this guy, a Samsung with a full QWERTY keyboard. But this time, I only signed a 1-year contract, which means the next year, 2011, my second year at university, when my contract was up, I finally decided to get myself a smartphone with a touchscreen. I used to study with a group of friends who were in the same program as me and took the same courses I did. And when we took a break during our study sessions, invariably the topic of conversation was mobile phones. I remember one of the group members got an iPhone, and boy, did the group make fun of him. I mean, I did not understand why. They were just mean. Like, why did you get an iPhone and this and that? I innocently asked them, like, why? What's the problem with an iPhone? They knew I used to use an iPod Touch. So they said an iPhone was essentially a bloated iPod Touch. To be fair, they were not wrong. The only real difference between the iPhone and the iPod Touch was that the iPhone could make calls and it had a camera. A point to be noted is that later models of the iPod Touch did have a camera. A week or so from that incident, I did get my first smartphone with a touchscreen. This is the HTC One S, which used the Android operating system. I selected this phone based on what I thought the group would say or do. If I had gotten an iPhone, I would have definitely been ridiculed or made fun of, and I did not want that. I basically caved in to the group's norm. The norm here being that the group were using phones with the Android OS. In social psychology, this caving in is called conformity, and I'll tell you all about it in the next episode. Alright folks, that's our episode for today. Tell me, have you caved in to peer pressure or social norms? It doesn't have to be about cell phones, it could be anything. Eating something, going someplace, posting a video on YouTube based on a trend, anything, it's all cool. Let me know in the comment section below. And until my next video, take care.